No, it did not show, but it looked dope. It looked dope.
Yeah, that was a cool menu screen.
We got to see what your character looks like.
Yeah, it
looks
cool.
like every other character on that game.
I was showing the video highlights.
Technically, his character has like a peg leg. He's like
got a prosthetic leg.
Prosthetic leg, excuse me.
Peg.
Those are pirate.
Prosthetic, dude.
Oh, okay.
Not a pirate.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can call me a pirate. I don't care.
All right. What was your DJ question?
Yeah, I want to talk about back to the DJ stuff. What is one secret to DJing or business that our audience has not heard before? Dana, go.
Well, I don't know what our audience has not heard before, so I thought of a good one because I think it has developed me as a DJ, is pushing yourself out of your comfort zone as much as possible.
What do you
Whether
mean?
it's so what I knew you were going to ask that. So, so I thought, I mean, so as like, well, DJ, for instance, I went ahead and dived into 3 months worth of improv comedy classes. And you wouldn't think that it helped, but it did. It definitely helped my emceeing and just being able to like think on the spot. It helped get me kind of break out of my comfort zone, really, and tap into my imagination and creativity from other resources. So I think that also can translate into DJing, because then it just opens up your creative mind, and you can also become creative with your sets. And then from a personal standpoint, with obviously like running the business part was something extremely new to me. And so to learn so much, and I'm still learning all the time. So I think even though I was just talking to Mike earlier, I am not a numbers girl. That wasn't my strong suit. And so I have pushed myself out of that comfort zone, and I've learned how to use QuickBooks and do my own bookkeeping with some help, but so just like that's what I mean. So don't be afraid. Don't let fear take over, and just push yourself. And then it eventually builds your confidence as well. So
step out of your comfort zone. Fear and Low. What's up? What's your tip for DJs they haven't heard before?
I would say just realizing the importance of when to play certain tracks, building a set, the energy. If you play bangers the whole time, each one's gonna sound a little less like a banger. So just starting starting wherever the room's at, kind of if you're opening doors and you don't want to be blowing, bangers all the whole time. So I don't know.
We like to call that flow. Just it's really important to understand flow and how, like Zach said, just building energy. That's something that you don't really understand until you've been around for a long time. You can hear it in people that are really well known. I'm trying to think of
I just watched the Martinez brothers stream last night, and dude, they start at 1:20 playing disco, chill, deep tech. And then by the end of it, they're playing 1:30 tech now, but you can't tell. It's just
each song is a different, it's another set in this long hit. It's dope.
Yeah. I like sets like that.
Yeah,
me too.
I find BK is my Columbus King of that style, where you're gonna get A to Z, but you're gonna take 26 steps to get there.
Right. Yeah.
Technical questions, my favorite questions. So I guess I can give you a little background. One of the reasons why I like Zach and Alex so much is because when I see those guys on a dance floor that I'm DJing for, I know I'm getting some good feedback after this. And Alex, we talk probably even more just about each other's sets and other DJs, and not even a hating way, just in an appreciation of the art form and everything like that. So how do you guys offer feedback in between you guys as a duo and then other DJs? Because I think you guys do a really good job of it, and you know, how do you break the barrier where you're not afraid to talk to other DJs about their sets?
Well, I'll start here. Between the two of us, honestly, any feedback that we give, most of the time we know. So like I'll say something to Zach and he'll be like, yeah, I know about that. And it's nice to acknowledge that, because it's like, oh yeah, he was thinking that.
Right.
But there are times, usually if there's feedback that we have to give on the fly, we'll just do it. So like a lot of times I'll be in the middle of a mix and Zach will turn a knob for me because he hears that it needed to be turned. And we just kind of built off a relationship on the decks where that's cool.
Yeah.
We know that each other can hear what's coming out of the speakers as well as the other guy. So it's nice going back to back with someone that can kind of look out for you like that.
Right. But also, like, in terms of giving other people feedback, like, or even getting feedback when I'm DJing, like, whenever I'm DJing, there's other DJs in the room. For some reason, that's who, like, I'm trying to impress the most. And that could be the same for, like, a lot of people. But, yeah, I think negative feedback's kind of a weird word, because I would never give negative feedback, more like constructive or, like, critical feedback. But I think if it's negative, it's probably coming from a place of, like, jealousy or something else.
And then Dayna, some people, like, I've heard it said, like, don't give feedback on something unless someone asks you for feedback. Do you believe in that or no?
No, I would say no, because I mean, I guess it depends on the situation. No, I mean, I know for me personally, if I want feedback, I'm going to ask for it. And obviously I've been given feedback. I haven't been asked for it, but I appreciate it too, you know? So I think it always makes you, I mean, grow. And when you get, actually what you say, instead of negative feedback, I like to look at it as constructive criticism. You know, I mean, I'm my own worst critic, we all are. So
Right.
True.
I give myself a lot of like critique, but it's nice to hear it from other people. Yeah, for sure, to be honest. Whether you ask
I know,
for it
like, when I'm playing, like, we played on the patio, Mike, and, like, we're not even, like, the same kind of DJ at all. So it's, like, it's hard for me to give you feedback, because what you do, you're, like, a king at it. And I'm always like, whoa, like, you're sampling in songs, like, that I wouldn't even think about. So, like, it's hard to give people feedback when they're not really doing, like, the same style as you. But it's easier when you're in the same realm, kind of.
And then Alex, you and I are in the, I feel like I'm in the, I mean, I won't speak for you. What I'll say is I'm in the boat. I can't help myself. I'm giving feedback because I'm the kind of person who I want, like, I don't know, again, I'm not want to speak for you, but I'm getting tired of, oh my God, you killed it. Like, I get what you're trying to say and I appreciate the love, but I don't know, every time it doesn't tell me anything, right? Well, like, someone will come up to me and say, like, oh my gosh, you killed it. Then I'm like, oh, what's your favorite song? What was, like, your favorite song on the set? And I get some feedback or something. And they're like, I don't know. It was just everything. It's like,
well, yeah, that's true. You still appreciate it, though. Anytime anyone says something, I mean, I'm going to appreciate that, because I know
100%.
that they didn't have to say something like that. They could have just stood there and danced.
Oh, 100%. Not saying that. But I know you and I get more excited when someone says, yeah, when someone says something that's, like, constructive, like, oh, I didn't like when you did that, or, like, why did you do that? So talk about that. Like, do you offer feedback when it's not asked for? And then how do you go about doing it so that, you know, that you don't get punched in the face?
A lot of times it depends. I mean, most of the time when I'm out at shows, and there's locals that I would be talking to give feedback. It's someone that I'm pretty close with anyway. I'd say anyone in Columbus at this point that DJs, we have a relationship with someone with them that's going to be playing a show that I'm at. I don't know if it comes up in conversation, or if most of the time I'll let someone ask me before I give any kind of feedback. But usually it'll just be something like good set, and a lot of times I'll point out one or two songs that I enjoyed. But I don't like giving a lot of people really like criticism at the show. I feel like that's, maybe I'll be like, hey, you could work on your phrasing or something, but I honestly can't remember a time I said something like that. I think most of the time, if I'm given anything constructive or whatever, it would be talking about the flow. What Zach and I were talking about, like building an energy, like you came out too hot, or
some things that are important to us.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that I would criticize people for.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
And as a follow up, what's the best compliment you receive? So maybe you appreciate when someone says you killed it, but that's not like the best compliment. Dana, like what compliment do you get excited for when people mention something to you?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, one of the best compliments is if they say something to the effect of like, that was one of the best nights of my life, or you just made my night, anything like that. Or if they talked about a certain song that moved them a certain way and they tell me a story about it and why, like that's, oh my gosh, like that makes my heart pound. So I love that. And I was going to say really quick too, just going back to what we were talking about, I was going to say with the the feedback, like whether it's constructive criticism or negative, like it also depends, I think too, like who it's coming from, like or there's also a time and place too. I feel like at a show may not be the time and place to give constructive criticism, but I think if you really felt led to, you could reach out to that person, especially if it was a friend of yours, like Mike too. I know we've shared constructive criticism, and I will definitely, if you're at a show of mine, I would want to hear your feedback because you're always honest, so if I'm looking for that, then I'm going to ask, so I think too, and the way you give feedback too, you have, coming from a place, like a non-judgmental place, and showing compassion about it too, people will appreciate a lot more instead of being like, yo dude, you know what, that sucked, like that's not going to be taken well received, as well. But
yeah, I mean, we just want you to be better. That's the only reason I would say something like that.
Yeah, you tell them, hey, like this is what I like, how they say start off with positives,
a compliment sandwich or whatever.
Yeah. Negative, but for sure, best compliments would be that I just like made their night with a big smile and hug, or a high five or fist bump in our case right now. But I miss
hey, not now.
All those.
You better get those high fives away from me.
Air five.
That's why I said fist bump.
No, not even that.
How long till we go back to shaking hands?
May 7th.
Never. Maybe never. We'll just no more touching anyone.
I'm kind of okay with that, if I'm being honest. I'm like, that's not a big shift for me. Like not touching people.
I went and got an oil change, and I just naturally, it was my instinct to just go like this, to put my hand out to the guys, like, thanks, man. And he's like,
what are you, crazy?